So we passed a really big milestone, the rough inspection. It's the ugly first half of the job where everything's opened and everything needs to be checked out. The city has professionals of the trade, and they'll come in and they'll take a look at everything. Plumbing, electrical, mechanical, insulation. Rough inspection is the big one for us because this kind of passes you to be able to close the walls and close the floors and anything that's basically exposed. As anyone who's ever had to deal with a rough inspection, or any kind of inspection for that matter, there's always a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of uncertainty as to what's going to happen. Even though I've been doing this for the past 12 to 15 years, you know, it still is the same. You're just hoping that it's going to pass the way it's supposed to happen. You know, they come here and they run through the whole house, no matter how big it is, and give us a laundry list of things that need to be done, corrected, modified. But that's not how it happened over here. Usually you'd go through 1, 2, maybe 3 inspections. The inspector here came 5 times. A lot more costs, a lot more time, and a lot of headaches to do.
There was kind of like a silent period. I knew that the inspections were starting to go a little bit further along. This is not my first rodeo when it comes to home renovations. So, but I had a feeling that they were on top of it. I had also kind of a feeling that the city was going to start presenting challenges.
Just wanted to show you one of the things. Do you see how this is kind of a U shape right here? And this was capped. This used to be a T. Now what you have is you have some level of water that stays in the U shape. It's called the P-trap. This is another item that's going to be basically for the laundry. So they had it as a T here, and this goes and vents it all out. So that way there's no smell that stays in the plumbing. Unfortunately, he didn't want to have 2 different things teed into one ventilation. So we needed to not only open up the floors in this section and on the other side, to be able to change this, we needed to separate it and put it to 2 different ducts going up to the roof. So this is what the inspector kind of threw us another loop. So what we did is we insulated everything and we basically did all the wiring above, and we covered partially with drywall, which typically most inspectors, if they can kind of pick out one wire here, going to this wire here, going to this wire here, wouldn't have a problem and just give you the okay to go ahead and start, you know, skim coating, painting and whatnot. This inspector didn't go with that. So he made us really take all the drywall off, all the insulation out. He wanted to see from point A to point B. So that kind of threw us a little bit of a, kind of like a 5, 6, 7 days of a delay. All right, so let's talk about this one, because this one was a fun one. I'm being sarcastic when I say this. It's a vaulted ceiling, and the inspector wanted us to basically have more insulation than what the vaulted ceiling can support. I mean, you have a thickness of the rafters, so that's usually where the drywall is going to go on for framing. So you don't have enough space, so what do? The inspector wanted us to reframe it, and obviously that doesn't work with the setup of how this house is framed already. We would have to probably take out the stucco over there and frame everything down a couple inches plus drywall, so 2.5 to 3 inches would frame down, which would look really funky and really defeats the purpose of having a beautiful vaulted ceiling. So you can only imagine how much of a pain in the ass that would have been. We had to think outside the box and come up with this foam insulation. It's a person that comes in with a mask and they start spraying all that foam and it expands within the space, which basically gives us even more insulation, but is not typical to California. It's more of an East Coast kind of thing.
This is why it's so important. You have to find contractors that have the experience. So you don't sit there and spend $10,000, $15,000 because the city wants, oh, well, the roofing's not right, the floor's not right, and that's not right.
So obviously, we make sure that it all passes. So if there's something that's not to their liking, we just do whatever they want. Yeah, it always feels good to get past the rough inspection because I know that's the ugly half. The good thing is now we can power through the rest of the rest of the remodel, and then we really don't have anything until really final inspection.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just glad it's over with, and now we can actually move forward.